Welcome everybody, Jayewellness here with you. How's everybody doing out there? Everybody hanging in there okay? Staying healthy? I sure hope so. If you're not having a good day today, that's okay. I'm here to cheer you up. Today's topic is going to be quite interesting, and I'm sure that it'll probably resonate with pretty much everybody out there. And that topic is being comfortable with looking in the mirror. That's right. The mirror is a reflection of what? Yourself. And a lot of people out there are avoiding the mirror. Physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Just walking on by, not stopping to admire the greatness that lives within them. So I'm going to jump into the topic and explain, if you've forgotten of course, how special you really are. Take a listen. You all know the saying from the famous movie Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. Well, that's interesting because I also think life is like a pizza. It's divided into different slices. Let me explain. Now, going back into life too is also divided into different slices. For example, relationships, that's one slice. Professional life, that's another slice. Health, that's another slice. Raising children, being a good parent, that's a giant slice if I might add. These are all different variables that make up life. It's not just life itself. So what happens if one of the slices isn't tasting so good? You avoid it, right? You don't continue to consume it. You go around it. You find the things that make you feel good about yourself. But what do you do when the problem area is not a food item, it's yourself? It's not going to be very successful avoiding yourself, but unfortunately many of us do. We go past the mirror as fast as we can, regardless if we're upset about our weight, our failures in life, the problems that we're currently facing, whether it be jobs or school or relationships. These are things that are just stabbing us constantly over and over again. The mirror is nothing more than a useful tool created to assist us. But what happens when the mirror actually becomes our nightmare? And for some, the mirror is something that causes more problem than it does to help. This is where I remind you all that do not look in the mirror, your reflection, and be so hard on yourself. That's the number one key, being hard on yourself. We all do it. Even when we're not trying to, we do it. It's going to take more than someone telling you just to stop being hard on yourself to actually accomplish that feat, but will definitely be something that you acquire and achieve over time. I'll be the first to tell you this. It's not when the success is reached that the mirror certainly becomes a luxury and a pleasure to look at, but it's from within that the adaptation of the constant turmoil of beating yourself up starts to subside. It's the self-rewarding and self-fulfilling enjoyment of who you are and what you make happen in the world, the things that you provide, the differences that you make. That all comes from within. The seed has sprouted. You can still be somewhat unfulfilled of the success that you'd like to accomplish, but with inside you're making progress. You're starting to understand who you are. When you understand who you are, the exterior motives, the exterior agenda becomes very vivid and clear. When clarity is restored, joy starts to unfold. Everyone wants to see where they're going. Regardless, it's very, very enriching to realize that you do have a purpose. So like I said, you don't always have to accomplish every single goal to love what's in front of the mirror, but to have that clarity, to see it, to feel it, to embody it. That is the difference maker. And you're probably asking inside, how do I obtain what you're talking about here? And I'm going to tell you in the shortest way I can is when you recognize that the joy actually comes from within. You'll start to gravitate inside, internally, to getting those things that you want and stop thinking externally so much. When you start to realize that it's going to come from within, you put yourself in a perspective to start gravitating towards that. It's almost like the mind and body starts to come together. And that's when the mirror and your reflection of who you are start to make sense. And I can guarantee that the anxiety and the pressure and the depression that you're facing starts to drop precipitously. And once the chains break and self-love is present, you'll be so astonished at how big and how magnificent your life will change. Alrighty, my magnificent people, that concludes our topic for today. Overall, we all have our challenges and we all will face them. And it's just up to us to make a good outcome of it all. It's not enough that life will pull us in directions that we may not be willing to go in. But that's okay, because together we'll lean on each other and we'll get through things that are challenging in our life. But overall, the main ingredient of this is to love yourself, regardless of what you're going through. You are a specimen of something that never existed before. And I want everyone to love the reflection in the mirror. Because it wasn't until someone made a difference that others realized how much a difference was needed. So to conclude all of this, I'm going to leave you with something that you may not have heard if you're new to my channel. I ask you to like and subscribe because I'm going to leave you with this, and I think you'll remember this in due time. Being well is feeling well. Feeling well is doing well is living well. Take care, everybody.